afternoon, everybody. My name is Kim. I am a community learning specialist here at DoSpace. Thank you for joining me for After School Club. Today we are going to be doing some little bots, which should be a lot of fun. They are going to look a little bit like this, and they're going to be little scribble bots. So we are going to be adding some of these little, they're like little vibrating motors to them, and if all goes according to plan, when you take off the lids of our markers, it's going to go and just make little scribbles on our piece of paper. So yeah, so here are some of the things that you will need. The nice thing about these kind of activities is that you don't really need to go out and buy a ton of stuff. A lot of things you can just have around the house for the most part. Yeah, so what you need is going to be, I have a yogurt, like a small yogurt container, but like if you have anything that is kind of a recyclable material, the little baskets that your fruit comes in, or like the little basket that mushrooms come in, something that, you can reuse is always a good thing. Sustainable, and you're just like, instead of having to buy something, you're just reusing something. So that is what this is, just like a little yogurt container. You are going to need some batteries. These are little coin cell batteries, 3-volt coin cell batteries. You're going to need some electrical tape. These are just like little vibrating motors. They're not very big, but they're just like little guys. But the nice thing is that they're sticky back, so they'll be able to easily stick onto our little bot when we need it. You're gonna need some markers, obviously, scissors, some tape. I have some Scotch tape. I also have some painter's tape. And then I have some washi tape just to like make it fancy if you want. You don't have to use that. If you don't have it, not a big deal. But washi tape is a lot of fun. So if you have it, decorate your little scribble bot. Why not? Have some fun with it. And then scissors. And then obviously you need some paper to scribble on. You don't want to be scribbling on your table, do we? No, we don't. So yeah, let's get started. So this is basically what we're going to be making today. I'm going to be starting out with I'm going to be moving some things just to clear my space a little bit. So I'm going to talk a little bit really quickly about our little motors. So as I get things most of the things you probably have, probably maybe some of the things that you don't have around the house might be the coin cell batteries, which you can really get at any kind of like grocery store, Walmart, Target, things like that. So this is a CR2032 coins, 3-volt coin cell battery. Get them online, whatever. I know you can buy them at like your local grocery store or someplace like that. The one thing you probably won't have are these like little motors, these little vibrating motors, and they're a lot of cool. If you've joined us for some past after school club activities, then you will know that we have done circuits before for Make It. And, a circuit is just a path in which electricity flows for something to happen, right? Your phones have circuits, computers that you're watching this on, clocks, lights, anything that really requires electricity is usually powered by a circuit. And so these little guy needs some. And so you might know some things just to review about circuits. You can see that our little vibrator motors there's these 2 wires. You can see one's red and one's blue. And a lot of times when it comes to electronics and circuitry like this, just like our batteries are polarized. Let me pop one out of this little. So our batteries are polarized. That means that there is a positive side, which you should see that little plus sign, and then a negative side. So if we were using, a lot of times You might be more familiar with a AA battery. That looks like this. And so a lot of times, you know, if you're putting this in, you might look for the plus and the minus. So a lot of times this is the positive end, this is the negative end. But instead of that, just like every battery, all batteries have a positive and a negative, polarized. So, so does this. And a lot of times, if you joined us before in our circuitry series, we did a lot of circuits with LED bulbs, like little light bulbs, basically, little bulbs that are LED bulbs. And they are also polarized. So it was very important to know like the path in which our like wiring and everything went, because if, for example, the post, or like the little leg that was the positive leg, was touching the negative side of our battery, and the negative touching our positive side, then our light bulb wasn't going to work. You know, it's very specific that it was positive, positive, negative to negative for our LEDs, but not all components are specific like that, which is kind of nice. And for example, our little motors, vibrating motors, are not specific like that. So even though, and it's always like, it's nice because a lot of times in circuitry, wires are color coded. So red usually means positive. This is blue, like usually the other color, a lot of times it's either blue or black, usually means negative. So that if your components are specifically polarized, you know which wire to attach to which side of the battery. The nice thing about these is that they are not polarized. These little vibrating motors are not. So I can put the red wire, I can have the end of my red wire touching the positive end side of my coin cell battery. And then I can have the blue wire touching the negative side. And it might be kind of hard to see, but it is going. And you can kind of, maybe, yeah, it's going. You can kind of see it moving around on me. Maybe you can hear that. Yeah, so it's moving. It is vibrating. So that's with our red wire touching our positive side and our blue wire touching our negative. Now if I switch it around so that our blue wire touches our positive side of our battery, and then the red wire touches our negative side, it is still working. It's kind of hard to see, but again, not polarized, so it doesn't really matter, which makes making this circuit a lot easier, to be honest, because you're not having to, there's a lot less troubleshooting if something doesn't work out, because a lot of times, I mean, if we were making maybe a little bit more complex of a circuit, you would be like, oh my goodness, which side is going to which, and you know, do I have my positive to positive, negative to negative? It doesn't matter. It can switch in either way, works really nicely. So we're going to be attaching a few of these to our little cup, and you can do what I did. I put some tape around it just to kind of cover the label. You can do that. You don't have to. I found that what I should have done for this one is I put the markers on the inside. I should have put them on the outside. So when I make this example, I'm going to put them on the outside because it was kind of tricky taping them onto the inside. Didn't really love it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start out with just like our little cup. And again, anything, that you can recycle, use around the house. And then I have my 4 markers right here, and I'm actually just going to, the nice thing about these is that they're all the same length, my markers. I have to say the nice thing about putting them on the inside of my cup is that they can only go so far in. So I knew that whenever, they're all the ends are going to be in the same spot. So whenever I turn it over, it's going to be flush on the surface of my table. Now if I put it on the outside, it's going to be a little trickier. So I'm going to try and line up the end of my marker with just like this lip right here. So try and make it, you know, as even as possible. And I'm going to use some of this. This is just blue painter's tape. And I really like using painter's tape just because it's sticky enough that it keeps things in place, but it's not so sticky that if you need to adjust, it like tears or rips, you don't have to like fiddle with it too much. It comes up pretty easily. So we'll see. We'll see how this works, friends. Okay, so I'm going to try and do my darndest of getting, this could be interesting, friends, of getting it kind of even. And I don't know. I think that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to put one side. And where's my tape? Okay, I'm just going to tear off another piece. So I might just like tear off, make it doesn't have to look beautiful, but I don't know. You can make it as neat or as not neat as you want. It's your Scribblebot. You do you. Make it however you like. That's the nice thing about crafts and making items like this. It's like you can make it as nice or as not nice as you want looking. Like as long as it works, that's the point of these kind of crafts. It's like the workingness of it. Okay. And if it doesn't work the first time, that's okay. That's what perseverance is all about. I think that's seems pretty even. So what perseverance is all about is if something doesn't go your way the first time, trying again, finding a different solution to your problem. Changing things up if you need to. So we're going to put this. And actually, this way it kind of covers around the outside. It covers the design of the outside of my cup. And so then once, oops. I have to say, when I was doing this one, I thought that the width of the tape is pretty consistent, like in terms of the width of the cup, and I thought it would just like wrap really easily, and it didn't. It puckered and did all sorts of things. I was like, no, it wasn't flush like I would have liked it to be. That's okay. Kind of tore my piece a little bit, so I'm gonna redo it. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna worry about that one. Okay, last one. Whew. Pretty long. Doesn't need to be that long. Okay, last marker. Let's see if I can do this without. Kind of gets a little bit tricky once you get the fourth marker. That's what I was figuring out with this one. I got 3 in easily, and then the fourth one, because I already had the markers everywhere, it's a little bit trickier. So let's see, I might do it this way so that maybe do it like that. So I can maybe line it up, and again, if I have to realign the tape or the marker, although I don't think that's too bad, friends. What do you guys think? I think that's pretty even. It seems like I'm going to take the lids off my marker really quickly because it seems like everything is going to be flush. And the ultimate, it's hard to see that one, the yellow. But I can see all 4 of my dots. Okay, boom. So, not bad, friends. I feel like I got that pretty well. Okay, now I'm going to put my lids back on because I'm not quite done constructing the bottiness of our Scribblebot. Okay. And so, now we have our markers on. Now we can start kind of attaching some of these. So I have 3. I'm gonna start out with 2. I have 2 of these. We're going to start out 2. And so what I have to make mine is, I just adhered each side. I just kind of, this is just electrical tape. Where's my, just electrical tape. It acts as an insulator. And it, not that this heats up, but it just insulates well, and it's, specific for electronics and things like that, for wires. And so I just kind of taped it where I have one side taped, the other kind of see, and then taping it around. And so this is actually vibrating right now. Ooh, kind of like a drum. And so I'm gonna kind of the trick is gonna be doing it in a way that, so I might do it on the inside, actually. I might have to, the stickiness, my stickiness of this has kind of gone. I might have to tape that down. I'm going to tape it down. Some of my electrical tape. Okay. Oh no. I think once we get the lids off, because these lids are flat, I think it'll help with that. Okay. Now we're going to do another one. So, grab some electrical tape. I have a very messy space, don't I? Oh, that's okay. Sometimes creating can get messy. So I'm going to, again, oops. So this I've just sandwiched. Basically, it's like, think of it as this is the filling and your wires are the sandwich. Then you're kind of making like a sandwich out of our electronics. So I'm just kind of wrapping it around just like that. And then hopefully this sticky sticks a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I take this off. It's going just like a little bit. I can feel it vibrating just on. Okay. Let's see. We might need even another one. So I might add it to the side. Let's see. I have one more. And okay, so that one works too. We're gonna so I have these. You could always use stronger motors. These are just like little guys. And my cup's actually pretty big. I probably should have made like a lighter cup. And with the markers, it kind of, or maybe I could have just done 3, made like a tripod. So it kind of makes it a little bit heavy for our little motors. So, okay, they're going, right? Just stick it on the outside. Well, in theory, it's supposed to work. But the nice thing about this is that I also have a bigger one. my batteries aren't strong enough to go. So if you have one that looks a little bit more like this, then it'll do a little bit more woo and kind of go around like that. So that's the fun thing about like making little bots like this, is that you can kind of experiment with the way you have, or things that work and what don't work. I had a lighter cup, but it got misplaced. So I had to improvise. And so the lighter cup worked a little bit better than this one, which is totally okay. In theory, again, it will work in theory. Like if you get these little motors and get a little, but yeah, so this is just a little bot. And so now next, if you wanted to, you could absolutely, I'm going to put the lids back on. There we go. Boom. And the nice thing about it is that like I just took these off. I'm trying to preserve the battery life of them, of my battery, so I just took it off. So now what you could do if you wanted to is do some decorating. So I have some I really like this washi tape. It's like a rose gold, and I love rose gold. So you need to spruce up your little bot. You can totally do that. I also would suggest, because I'm putting a lot of tape, you end up, if you are sprucing it up and putting tape on there, being okay with having dedicated markers, obviously. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of a pain to try and, obviously that didn't turn out super well. That's okay. To try and get out. This actually is not as sticky on the tape as I wanted to. Maybe we can just do the top. Oh, that works nice. So we can just decorate the top. How about? Sticky tape is nice, or washi tape is nice because it's not super sticky. Again, it's kind of like masking tape. But you can do a lot of decorating with it. I've seen people decorate their rooms or notebooks or things like that. Boom. It's kind of like a star. A little bit. Yeah, so that is just our little bot. And I know this one didn't work out quite as well I was hoping for, but again, it's I like it. I sometimes like it whenever things don't always work out perfectly, because that just kind of means that there's always room for improvement. You can always, look at your design. How would you change your design? What do you need to change about it? What do you think would work better? What materials do you think would be better to use? And it's definitely part of that design process where you maybe will look at something, try it out, prototype. It's a really great example of prototyping. So prototyping is where you try something out to see if it'll work. And if it works, great. You can that's your jumping off point. And then if it doesn't work, that's okay, because it's just a prototype. It's just a sample of something that you're making. And so these make really nice prototypes. Maybe you're wanting to make something, a bigger bot or a smaller bot, something like that. At least you can have, you can make something that is just a sample of maybe something you want to make, maybe on a larger scale. And so you can design, try it out. If it works, great. How then can you make it better and change things up? And then from there, figuring out, this might work a little bit better, this works a little bit better with that, then boom, you get your best result as you can. So yeah, so friends, that's it for me today. So thank you so much for joining me for After School Club Make It. Next week we are going to be talking about solar energy, and we're going to be making a little solar panel house. So I hope you can join me next week when we are going to be talking about solar energy. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.